Alrighty, we're gonna put a three-way switch in this hallway here. We have a switch over here and we have a nice wall over here. And what we're gonna use is an old work box. And we're gonna have two switches for one light. You'll see a brass and a black screw on one side and a brass screw and a green screw on the other side. So the power goes in the common and goes out the common, and the two travelers don't make a difference. So we'll get started here and we'll cut our hole in the wall. Here in the country I was born in, we use, in a commercial building, which this is, we use 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare and the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors, however you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we'll go and we'll get our holes cut and start snaking our wires in. So this is our old work box. It has the little tabs here that hold the box in place. So we'll trace our spot in the wall where we're going to put it. Okay, so we're going to put it on right here. 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 Make our lines. Now we'll trace across here like this. We'll go across the bottom. Like that. And then we'll take what's called our keyhole saw and we'll cut our hole. Now we got to snake our wire down from up above here. I'm just going to make sure our box is going to fit in here. Yeah, it's going to fit in there perfect. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Oh, there's not something up in here I can't. I hope there's not anything in there. If there is, you know what there is. There is something in there. We're going to have to just break it out the hard way, that's all. Just break it out. Nothing wrong with a little struggle now and then. Well, I love not having a drill, so we'll just break it out the hard way, that's all. I'll turn my light off so I don't kill my battery. We'll just have to break it out, that's all. Sometimes you just have to break it out, that's all. Just break it out. Do it the hard way. You don't get upset. You don't get all worked up over it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. You just have to cancel a job sometimes. You don't let problems bother you. You don't let it drag you down. You just break it out the hard way, that's all. Just break it out the hard way. This isn't what I wanted to do, but you know what? It's what you have to do. Find out where. There it is, right there. So there's where our opening is, right in here. And that's a big, thick beam. There's nothing I can do, absolutely nothing, so I'm not getting all worked up over it. When there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. So you don't get all bent out of shape, you don't get all frustrated, you don't get carry on about it. But sometimes things don't work out the way they're supposed to. Break out some more sheetrock up here so I can and there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta accept it and not complain about it. Yep, it's a big solid beam. There's no way I'm drilling through that. Absolutely nothing. There's no way. Absolutely no way. So, we're doing what we don't want to do. But that's how life goes sometimes. And you don't get all bent out of shape and all frustrated and carry on about it. Do what you gotta do. Okay, so let's make the wire down in our wall here. There it is. That's what we want right here. Now we'll staple it up here so that it's away from the metal, and they'll just have to patch over that. Okay, so now we'll put our switch in the wall here. So pop our little hole here. Put our wires into our box. Okay, so see how that little tab comes down when you tighten the screw? So we'll put our box into the wall like this. And we'll get it straight. So it goes snug. Tight, tight. We'll use our tool here to strip our wire. Take our jacket off. How nice and easy that rips right through everything there. Oops, it didn't. It's on the top there. There we go. And now it went through. Scroll up above here and just bring it down through gently. There we go. Strip our wires with our number 12 hole. Take off about an inch. Okay, so we'll put our ground wire around our green screw. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Pull forward so our copper is under our screw head all the way around. Now we're going to use red and black as our travelers, so we'll make our loop the direction our screw turns like that. And over here, put it on our traveler screw. Like that. Like that there. Make sure our insulation's not pinched and our copper's under the screw head all the way around. Put our black one on our other traveler screw. Oops, I'm recording right now. Okay, so we'll put our black wire on the other traveler screw. Like that. And our white is the common. Some people use the red and white for travelers, and some people use red and black. It doesn't matter. Make sure it's tight and the copper's under the screw head all the way around. Put our white on the common screw. This here. Make sure it's nice and tight so we have a good connection like that there. And we'll fold our wires into our box. We'll keep our ground wire zigzagging across the bottom. And we'll go up and we'll go down with our red and blacks. And we'll keep our ground wire down on the bottom here. Making sure our ground wire stays down on the bottom. Or I'll push it in so it stays in the back. I'll fold it so it goes in our back so it's out of the way here of everything. Okay, we'll keep this one going down. There we go. Making sure our ground wire is staying down and away from everything here. Okay, I'll center it on our box by hand. Bring it over this way so it's centered on our box nicely. I'll loosen it up and twist it a little bit because it's push the red one back a little bit more here. Push these wires back a little more. It is what it is.
Can I go up to the table?
I'm almost done. Okay. Alright. Get centered here. Alright. Yeah, I gotta push that back some more. Yeah.
Can I grab something real quick?
Not really, unless you really have to. Do you have to really grab it right now, or?
Okay, take your time.
Okay. Okay, so get it back over this way. I'm gonna push these wires over so that they don't hit the back of the switch. Okay. Our ground wires down away from everything. Okay, I'll straighten it out on our box here so it's nice and neat. Okay, we're good now. We'll get our cover. Where's that screwdriver I had in my hand 2 minutes ago? Oh, here it is. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna get our wire ready to go in here. We're coming into this switch right here. So leave enough up there and we'll come down and we'll cut it right here. And since you're not allowed to expose Romex on the wall, we're going to put it in some PVC to protect it. Wood here. You can see somebody else put some Romex on the wall, which is not up to code. Okay, now I'm going to come down towards our switch. Switch out of the box here. Okay, so we have a little extra light. I thought all the lights go off, but they don't. So let's take this one off and find our breaker for it. Okay, so we're going to find this one. There it is. Hey, see how they got the insulation under the screw head? That's not good. So we'll put this fitting in. Slide our wires into our fitting here. Good. Push it up over there. Again, tighten that. Stick our wires into our box. If something's not gonna go, it's not gonna go. You don't settle it. Put this on here like this. This off just a bit so I can get the ring on there. Okay, so I'll take our common wire and we'll get to the either the one that goes to the light or to the breaker. So we'll just clip it here, strip it even with our wire here. Get our copper even at the end and our insulation even at the bottom. We can strip our white one a little longer so that they're both even. So we get our copper even at the end and our insulation even at the bottom. Take our wire nut, just twist it on here. I'll make sure our insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. My tool go, and I can get bent out of shape if I don't find it quick, so always do it this way. You don't let not finding stuff bother you. You just don't let it bother you. Okay, I'm gonna look, make sure insulation's in the wire nut. Which it is. I'll just give it another. Oh, here it is. I'll give it another quick turn to make sure it's in all the way. There it is. Okay, so we'll put this wire back into our box here. Now we have our ground wire. We have this one will go on our common screw on the switch. Now we're going to twist these strands together nice and tight. I want to make sure they're all nice and tight here so we get them around our screw really nice. And cut our red and black a little shorter here. So we'll put our ground wire around our green screw here. It's nice and tight like that. We'll put our red and black on our common screws. Strip with our number 12 hole. Close it around the screw the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight and our copper is under the screw head all the way around and our insulation's not pinched. So we'll flip it around. This side, we'll put our black wire on this other traveler screw here. We'll make our loop just a little bigger. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. I bought some little pliers at a garage sale I kind of like for when I can't get in there. There we go. I closed our loop a little bit better with those little pliers. So that's why I like them. Make sure our copper is under the screw head all the way around, so I'll just pull back a little bit. Make sure it's tight like that and our insulation is not pinched, which it isn't. Yeah, I think it is pinched a little bit, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit. I'm just going to make sure our insulation's back here. It was such a tiny bit. Nice and tight. I can't see. I love not being able to see and not having my flashlight. But you know what? You don't let it bother you. You just can't. Don't let forgetting your flashlight bother you. It's not going to help you. Okay, my light on here. I just can't see. I love struggling to see. I didn't love it. Okay, now I see it's Okay, now I see it's not pinched under the screw head. I'll just make sure it's tight, which it is. Now I'll get our last wire up here around our common screw. And I'll just close it with our pliers here. Twist our strings loose. Loop the way our screw turns. And our screw head. Nice and tight. And we'll take screws out here. And we'll push our wires into our box. Okay, I'm going to keep our ground wire down at the bottom here. And our wires fit into our box quite nicely here. Ground wire out the way there. And make sure our screw does not hit the wires. Okay, now we'll put our other one in. Now I'm going to watch at the top. I want to make sure this box is deep enough I don't hit at the back of our connector here. Okay, it did not hit the connector, so we are good. So I'm just going to center our switch here on the box so it's nice and neat. And I'll flip our breaker back on. And our switch works, so now we can put a couple more screws up top. Okay, so I did have an extension box for just in case this box is too shallow. So put our cover on. I used to live up in this building in apartment 12. Here. Reptiles back in place here. That's something somebody else did. Okay, we'll get a staple up here to keep our wire away from this piece of metal. Okay, so there's a good ½ inch keeping it away from the metal here. So we get this reptile back. And this can be just like put some sheetrock, tape and mud over it. Alrighty, that is how to use 12.3 to run 2 switches for 1 light here in the country I was born in. Peace. Thanks for watching.